This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA areas. Everyone says here in the comments, making fun of me. Spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and the Angels have won 2 in a row to start this series at Fenway Park. Unbelievable. Feels good. And let's be honest, this was not the prettiest of games. This was a nail-biting game. This was a game where the Angels got a little bit of help from the Red Sox, but it was a game that ended with the Boo Birds out at Fenway Park. The Red Sox fans very, very frustrated as they lose back-to-back games to the Angels. 2 games where the Angels jump out to a lead. 2 games where the Angels almost blow it, but 2 games where the Angels light that baby up. So before we tell you what went on in this one, I know you guys have been missing the turning point. You've been missing the ads, as everyone's saying in here. But yes, shout out to everybody in here. I know was not able to do the show yesterday. I'm always going to be fully transparent with you guys, right? And so yesterday, the last week or so, I was back in the Bay Area. I got last week off from work, so wanted some time to visit my family, and was actually at Oracle Park watching the Giants. For those who remember, that was my childhood team. It's my second team, in addition to, of course, the Angels. So was there watching the Giants lose a ball game to the Padres. Hated watching them lose to the Padres of all teams. But yes, done with that. Back here, and shout out to everybody in here who was wondering where I was at and is excited for this one. Like Dave says, also before we jump into this one, I absolutely have to give props to Vinny. And I'm going to say, Vinny, what are the lottery numbers going to be, bro? Because this guy is unbelievable. I think he's like 3 for 4 in terms of predicting when Mike Trout is going to hit a home run. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, he predicted that Trout was going to hit a home run over the Green Monster yesterday, and he was absolutely right. So shout out to Vinny, shout out to everybody in here. But with all that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it with...
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
It's America's favorite segment, The Turning Point, but it's a combo. It's a combo today. We're combining The Turning Point with...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Yes, it's both. And they both go to Reid freaking Detmers, of all people. You know I've been critical of Reid Detmers. Not necessarily him as a player. I've been critical of people that were clamoring for Detmers to be in the rotation 2 months ago without him actually proving anything. Now we know the rotation is a different story. We know everything that happened over the weekend in terms of, Al Jaguari and Ron Washington's comments and, needing help in the rotation and everything. But just zooming in on this game specifically, how huge in the top of the 10th, the Angels have a huge opportunity that is missed. Bases juiced with nobody out. And somehow all we get is 1 run on a Taylor Ward double play and a Jorge Soler pop-up, right? We'll get to them in a second because not all positivity in this game for sure. But what a turning point. You go from a huge missed opportunity, right? Huge opportunity missed by not converting more than 1 run there in the top of the 10th inning. But what a huge job Detmers does coming in. And I wasn't alone. I know a lot of people were like, wow, did not expect to see Detmers come in to have the opportunity to get his first MLB save, right? And in what a spot to do it. Not a traditional save, a runner on second base. You just had an opportunity to go up 6-3, 5-3 blown, and you're only up 4-3. There's a runner on second. Surely they're going to tie this game, right? And if they only tie it and we get to the 11th, I kind of saw this as a long play by Ron Washington. Okay, you play Detmers, you hope he gets through the 10th, and then hope he gets to the 10th, only giving up that one run. And then you get to the 11th and you can still pitch Detmers. That's what I thought when he came in. Okay, he's not going to get out with no runs, surely, but he'll be a long arm that can go into the 11th if we need him, right? But how about Detmers, man? Shutting up everybody. And in a couple of these at-bats, he did get an assist. Some horrible hitting from the Red Sox in a game where the Red Sox did a lot wrong. Let's not act like it was only the Angels in this one. The Red Sox gave the Angels some runs in this game. The Red Sox ran into outs in this game. The Red Sox had more hits than the Angels and lose the ball game. But the combination of poor hitting and absolutely Reid Detmers deserves credit to get out of this one and get that first career save. Narvaez, the leadoff hitter, with the runner on second, and he strikes out on a fastball at his face. A fastball at his face. And so Reid Detmers, he took the Kenley Jansen approach of only throwing cutters, of only throwing fastballs here. He throws a curveball, it misses, and he says, all right, you know what, Narvaez, you're getting 3 fastballs. Swing and a miss, foul tip, and then swing and a miss on a fastball at his face. At his face, right? Then Trevor Story comes up, and this one, a good variety. You go curveball on the corner, nasty pitch, 73 miles an hour. You're never going to be able to time that up if you're Trevor Story. Then you sneak in back-to-back fastballs. It's 1-2. You go curveball high, and Trevor Story swings at it like above the zone, but then a nasty 1-2 back foot or front foot slider. Back foot slider down and in, nowhere near the zone, swing and a miss. Just like that, there's 2 outs, and you're thinking, absolutely, now there's a chance to get out of this inning with the save, with no runs, and then just a high curveball again. He likes starting it off with that curveball, gets the hitter on their toes, then throws a fastball at up and in at the hands, popped up by Rafaela, and the inning and ball game are over. The Boo Birds come out at Fenway Park, and Reid Detmers picks up his first ever MLB save. The starter turned long reliever. Now, this is what you got to do, right? As someone who has said he did not earn a rotation spot at the beginning of the season, who's been critical of him, this is what you have to do. It's not prove it in certain moments. Oh, I want to be a starter, so I'll do better in long relief appearances. No. When your number is called, when your name is called, get it done, no matter the situation, and you're going to improve the likelihood of being chosen to be a starter once again. So shout out to him, comes in 1-2-3, bottom of the 10th with a runner on second. You know how hard that is. That's why it was the turning point. That's why he is the player of the game. And before we take the break, I have to say, it capped off a great game for the Angels bullpen, right? Kind of ironic and fitting that once again, there's a Yusei Kikuchi start that's good, not great. Probably could have been worthy of a win in certain situations, but with the Angels, you're not getting a win, unfortunately, only going 5 innings and giving up 3 runs, but did not deserve the loss either. He gets no decision, and the bullpen was phenomenal. We use 5 relievers in this game. Brock Burke, scoreless 6th. Brogdon, scoreless 7th. Neris, scoreless 8th. Kenley Jansen, eventful but scoreless 9th. And then Reid Detmers comes in and gets the job done, right? So the bullpen, you got to give him credit. So much talk, and rightfully so, about the rotation, about the bullpen, the lack of talent, and the lack of proper management by Ron. But tonight, you got to give both credit. You got to give Kenley, as Dusty says, it's so true. Jansen is always a showman, and not just in terms of getting out of the jam, not just in terms of having guys on bases, always making it interesting, like you're referring to, Dusty, but also whether he's stepping off the mound like he did 3 times in this inning, in this game, whether it's that amazing save he had where he's directing guys, whether it's him always intentionally balking and telling the guy on second, go to third, get out of my way, right? He always finds a way, you're right, Dusty, to make it interesting. But he got out of it, and then Detmers got the job done. So the bullpen, they deserve an A+ in this one. They were fantastic. We're going to take our break, and when we come back, we're going to tell you how the Angels scored those 4 runs, including a few of them because of mistakes by the Red Sox. We'll also talk about the lineup and why, despite the 4 runs, which isn't even that many to begin with, wasn't really a great game for the Angels lineup. Some questions need to be asked, but we're going to take our break. We'll do that all when we come right back here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. We'll be right back. Now, on this Tuesday night, Today's show is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And today's show is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. But that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. I recently started using Monarch, and I realized just how much money I was spending on food takeout. I did everything. I split up the credit cards, used certain ones for certain types of purchases. That wasn't enough clarity. I needed Monarch Money to show me where the money, why the heck is my credit card bill so high at the end of every month? Well, now I know. And because of it, now I budget smarter and save more. And instead of juggling multiple apps, I only use Monarch to check my finances, track my spending, and even plan my long-term goals. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Back here live on a victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels 4, Red Sox 3 in extras. And it feels so good to talk about a win on a postcast, a victory edition, because I made the joke on Twitter. I made the joke multiple times with you guys. The Angels love to have unbelievable performances when I can't do a show. Last night, of course, the unbelievable record-setting first inning when I couldn't do the show. If you don't remember, probably the most exciting win we've had all year, the Joe Adell walk-off against the Giants when I didn't do a show. Fortunately, I was there for all three against the Dodgers, all four against the A's, but still, it feels nice to have a W while I'm doing the show on what was a pretty exciting game, a nail-biting game, a 4-3 win in extras. The Angels got some help from the Red Sox today, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. Three errors from the Red Sox. And this was a game where both teams looked like teams that were under 500, right? The Red Sox now 5 games under 500, the Angels 4 games under 500. And it looked like a game of two teams that aren't the best, right? Because the Angels walk 7. Angels walk 7 Red Sox hitters, but the Red Sox respond by having 3 errors and running into an out, right? And so the Angels score all 3 of the runs before extras in the third inning. And what an eventful third inning it was. It started with a gift. Joe Adell getting hit by a pitch, then stealing second base. And then it continued with another gift. The Red Sox doing the unthinkable mistake of walking Chris Taylor, the guy who doesn't even own a bat. He doesn't hold a bat when he goes up to hit. And yet, you walked him. And I'm being sarcastic because he did have a foul ball on a 3-2 pitch. He did have a foul ball on a 1-2 pitch. So it was a great at-bat by him. But still, I can't believe you walk Chris Taylor. So now it's first and second with nobody out. And then, of course, our guy, Zach Neto. If there was a guy that's going to come through, it's going to be him. And he takes a called strike on a sweeper below the knees. And then 0-1 gets another sweeper outside corner off of Bayo. And he pokes a ground ball up the middle. He hit it very hard. That's not an easy pitch to hit hard up the middle outside like that. But he did. Joe Adell scores. And then there's the throwing error by Rafaela that allows Chris Taylor to get into third and Neto to get into second easily. So that's the first error that assisted in the inning. Then you get the biggest swing of the game, arguably. 2 on, nobody out. You're thinking, okay, it's a guy you want in terms of a productive out in Nolan Schanuel. At the very least, he's going to get you a sac fly or maybe even a walk, right? But no, how about 1-2 pitch, change up down and away, and he gets quite lucky. It's a weak grounder. There's nobody there, and it gets into the outfield despite it being hit just 59.7 miles per hour. But a 2 RBI swing for Sean Newell. We know all the conversations about the lack of exit velo for him, but the moral of the story is exit velo Schmelo. The guy is getting it done. He's getting on base with walks. He's getting, weak contact, clutch base hits like this, and that made it 3-0. Unfortunately, weren't able to capitalize anymore after that. 3 straight flyouts from Trout, Ward, and Soler. But still, you get 3 runs in the second. You got an error from the Red Sox assisting you in that one. The Red Sox also ran into an out, and that was a huge play there, right? The Red Sox had the opportunity to score on a ball hit pretty darn deep into the outfield, right? But a beautiful relay. This was in the bottom of the second inning. A beautiful relay from Joe Adell to Neto to d'Arnaud is able to throw out Toro at the plate. I don't think it was a good decision to decide to send him, but we'll take it. That was another mistake by the Red Sox. And then another notable one in the top of the 10th inning, you have the sac bunt from Nolan Schanuel, which was good enough to get Neto to third, but with the error by Zach Kelly, no plays, right? Schanuel's able to get to first. You have runners in the corners. That's what sets up the Trout walk, the bases loaded, and then unfortunately it was a double play from Taylor Ward, but still, we will take it. We will absolutely take it. So thank you, Red Sox, for giving us a gift in this one a couple times after we gave you a gift in terms of turning that 6-0 lead into a nail biter. But with all that being said, the Angels are 2-0 at Fenway, and we will absolutely take it. Now, they're 2-0 and 2 polar opposite games. The offense goes crazy with the 3 home runs, the 6 runs in the first inning yesterday. Today, just 8 hits, and 3 of them coming from Travis d'Arnaud, of all people. Shout out to him. We know how critical we have been of him at times, but quite honestly, he's had a couple clutch performances. And so d'Arnaud goes 3 for 4. Outside of him, just 5 hits from the rest of the lineup. 2 came from Neto, who was probably the player of the game in terms of hitting. 2 for 5 with the RBI. He scored 2 of the runs as well. He's backed up to 272. Good to see that. Sean Newell, like we said, the 2 RBI swing there, and he did have a walk, of course. And Trout does go 1 for 4 with a walk. So just like that, Mike Trout's OPS is 800, guys. It's 800, despite the 226 average. He's having an okay season just like that. But unfortunately, what we need to talk about is the 4-5, right? Ron Washington makes the decision to move up Trout to the 3 hole. And good thing he did, because 4 and 5, boy, are they struggling. Ward goes 0 for 5 with 2Ks. Soler goes 0 for 5 with the strikeout. They're both now hitting just 213. Now, Ward did have that crazy home run stretch, of course, so his OPS is still 744, but Soler's got a 663 OPS. You can't hit him 5th anymore. And you can't tell me that you're not watching this game and watching Chris Taylor continue to still not get any hits. He's hitting 163, right? You're watching Rengifo. I hate to say it, but Rengifo 0 for 4, and he gets caught stealing again, right? He's hitting 211. Soler 213, Ward hitting 213. Those are guys that you got 2 guys who only play in the outfield in Ward and Soler, and they don't play it well, right? You got a guy in Rengifo who's a utility guy, and Taylor who's a utility guy, and all 4 of them are struggling. And you can't look at that and think, man, oh man, you're telling me Matthew Lugo couldn't be there right now after the hot start he had? I don't care if he let a ball fall in front of him in the outfield in the minors on a play. I'll be honest. I don't know about you guys, but if you saw that play, I didn't think he even really made that bad of a play. I don't think he was going to make the play. He got right. I don't think he was going to make the play. We know Kyron Paris fell off the cliff, but even he added some excitement at least. And of course, he's young. Prospects for the future. You're telling me that neither of those guys could be in the lineup for any of the 4 guys we just mentioned, right? So, I don't know. That's something that we talk about so much on this show, but sitting here watching this game specifically and watching the combination of Ward, Soler, Rengifo, and Taylor go a combined, what is that? A combined 0 for 17 tonight? 0 for 17 with 3, 4, 5 strikeouts. You're telling me you couldn't have at least one guy be replaced by Lugo? Come on. I wish, right? But we'll take it. Nonetheless, we will take the win despite a bad performance by most of the lineup. And we'll look forward to tomorrow, an opportunity to sweep the dang Angels. How good would that feel? Now, early first pitch, 10:35 first pitch means the game's going to end around 1 p.m., which means I will be doing the show from the LA Clippers office. So how ironic. I'm so happy I was able to do the show back at my place. I didn't think I was going to do it. And if you don't, there's no way you would know actually, but I just flew from the Bay to LA today at 5 p.m. The game started at 4:10 today. And if it wasn't for the game going into extras, I probably would have had to do the show from LAX. But instead, the second Kenley got out of the bottom of the ninth, I said, okay, I can call the Uber. I made it home. We did the show. So now we'll go back to doing it from a different venue with the mic quality a little bit lower, unfortunately. But we will be live tomorrow after what is hopefully another Angels win and a sweep of the Red Sox. That would be fantastic. Like you guys are saying, it will be Lucas Giolito as the starting pitcher for the Red Sox tomorrow, going against our guy, Jose Soriano. I think we have the advantage in that matchup. I'll always think we have the advantage when it comes to Soriano because you know how much I love our boy Soriano. So let's hope he can get it done. I think so. If you ask me to call it right now, there's just something about the Red Sox right now. They're struggling. The vibes are not good at Fenway. There's people booing. There's errors being made, a lot of mistakes. I'm calling the sweep. And unfortunately, I won't have a broom with me in the office, but I'm calling the sweep. We see here that Vinny is calling the home run over the monster for Trout tomorrow. I'm not going to lie, Vinny. It seems a little forced today. I feel like he got peer pressured into calling it, but certainly we'll take it. Right now, you're on a roll. So hopefully you're right. We need the lineup to warm up a little bit outside of the guys who have been rocking it, right? We know Neto, Shinola, and Trout at this point, they're getting it done. Joe Adell, he's actually been pretty warm, obviously, lately. But Ward, Soler, Taylor, Rengifo, if any of you four are in the lineup, I need to see a couple base hits from you. JCH is calling a Lugo start and a Lugo home run against his former club in the Red Sox. That would be quite interesting. And Jeff's birthday is tomorrow. He says, I'd like to see a sweep tomorrow for his birthday. Well, happy early birthday, Jeff. Thank you for the call, JCH. Thank you for the call, Vinny. Let's have the positivity continue tomorrow, and hopefully let's get a sweep at Fenway Park. What a statement that would be. We like big venues. We like making statements. We sweep the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. We're trying to sweep the Red Sox at Fenway. That would be pretty impressive. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. So glad to be back doing the show in my regular spot. We won't do it tomorrow, but we'll be back to doing the regular spot when the Angels have normal games again. We're back in LA, and we'll keep it going. But we're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in here. Angels 4, Red Sox 3 in extras. Reid Detmers, the hero, with his first career save in the bottom of the 10th. Take care, everybody. Let's sweep them tomorrow. And as always, go Angels. Good to be back. Take care, everybody.